Alright, so recently I showed you guys all of my binds that I use for cs2, and a few people wondered about the MJ bind, so I'm just going to talk about it real quick. A good example for places where using the MJ bind would, make sense is places like, LJ and Instabricks, where MJ and then LJ, right? Like, it makes sense, and you can get across, like, way easier. You have more space because you have more run-up from the MJ. That's a good example. There are just places in this game where it just makes sense to MJ instead of do a normal jump. I was sitting by the van because I was talking about it, and for me, personally, getting onto the van ledge, like, I can do it with jump, but it just feels so much easier with the MJ bind, like, for me. But this really could just be a me thing, but it does feel way easier for me to clip onto the side of the van here with the MJ bind. But from here, it definitely feels better with the LJ. And I just like that so much, I just have to show it whenever I can. Anyways. But yeah, the point of the MJ is you jump lower, so you can get a little bit better, like, run up and pre. I know people who like MJ for their first jump almost every time. Another use for the MJ is that you can like get a better B-hop if you get 250 pre after the MJ, which I don't know if there is a really good way to consistently do that right now. But yeah, by the way, SV auto hopping. Yeah, you see? So it's off. This config that I showed, bro, it's like I get way more perks with it. I've been playing around with it, so anyways, I'm glad that's the case, because I was really missing a lot of perks before. But we're getting off track here. The MJ bind, like I said, I don't know if there's a way to consistently MJ hop with 250 velocity, but I know that you can do it sometimes, right? So that's what's important. You'll be able to get the run-up that you need for different... I'm just repeating myself. Alright, so I have the game a bit slowed down right now, just so that you can sort of see what I'm talking about for the MJ bind, and so I can show you how to use it. So basically, here's what you do. You walk forward, and then you hit V for me. That's my bind, is the crouch part. So you hit your crouch bind in the MJ bind, not your actual crouch bind. So you hit your crouch bind, and then you hit the next bind, and then you get your MJ, just like that. It goes to 56 units in here, the 56 height, and I was measuring the different heights so that I could sort of gauge how useful this was, sort of thing, right? And it's it has its ups and downs. You lose velocity with it, which isn't good. But if you can get the good spot there, you're all set. But like I said, all you gotta do, you gotta hit V for my bind, and then the second you let go of V, you're pressing down mouse 3, right? So there you go. Now I'm just gonna show you some different stats that I recorded from the trials with the different binds. These don't necessarily indicate anything really. It's just sort of what I've noticed. The JBs do have variance, which does mean that this means nothing, which does mean that all of this testing means nothing because it has variance. But you can still learn from it. You can take like basic info about it, but it's not gonna happen exactly like this every time. But we do have results that we're obtaining through this very method. I even tested JB bound and JB unbinded, and I realized that I went higher unbinded, but it doesn't really mean much, like I said. Anyways, if you liked this thing, that's cool. Different color jeans, looking like a boat. Got that slime, I got that drip. With some other cool. I'm fucking on your